December was coined and popularized by this guy called Meister. He's a Ghanaian. He was a manager for Mr. Easy in 2016. And in that December, they organized two different events. The first one was in Nigeria, Lagos, and one was in Accra. The one in Lagos was called Life is Easy, and the one in Ghana was called Detty Rave. That was when they started using the hashtag Detty December. Now, because they didn't want to use the word dirty, this guy called Meister changed the spelling to Detty, and then it became Detty December.
You get it?
The reason why people think it started in 2019 because of the year of return that happened in Ghana. But who started it, no the matter.
I'm telling
Now
you.
who go maintain them be the problem. There's been a back and forth between Ghana and Nigeria as to who really owns Detty December. For me,
Yes. There's been a back and forth. Everybody's been talking about who owns Detty December.
Where are you from?
From
You guys
Nigeria,
asked for it, and we are going to get it today. We're going to talk about specifically what's happening during this month of December here in West Africa. I'm coming to you live from Sierra Leone, West Africa. And so I'm going to give you guys the full schedule as I see it and I have access to. So we have 3 countries we are going to cover today. Because I'm in Sierra Leone, of course, I'm going to cover Sierra Leone because many of our viewers do come to Sierra Leone in December. There are also a number of viewers who are going to be in Ghana and Nigeria. So those 3 countries are going to be covered. If you have other countries that you guys are interested in, put them in the comments below. We'll share what we can find from those schedules. But first, we're going to talk about Ghana and Sierra Leone and Nigeria. So really quickly, before I actually get into that, I do want to give you a little bit of a kind of a high level of what we're going to talk about today. So number one, obviously, as we talked about a couple of weeks back, December in West Africa is very, very big. It really does start with the fact that many diasporans bring their children to West Africa and many parts of Africa in general during the December holidays, specifically Christmas for those who celebrate it, and those who are of other religions still, this time of year, they bring their families back. As those people age as children, they grow up, become adults, they do tend to make the decision to make the trek themselves or even with their parents. But now they're looking to do some things outside, nightlife, etc. And that's how you have this kind of a world of people coming to West Africa over the many years. Prior to me being aware of the term Detty December, before the year of return, beyond the return, etc., I had been coming to Sierra Leone only the previous 2 years. So 2017, I came around Thanksgiving time. So it's before all the festivities really kicked off. And then in 2018, I did come in May and in December. And I saw what it was like in December of 2018. And from that moment on, I decided I was not going to be celebrating the end of the year in any other continent but the continent of Africa. I started out in Sierra Leone 2018 and 2019. I did Sierra Leone, Ghana, and then back to Sierra Leone again, then flew to the States. And then from 2020 on, I've done Sierra Leone for the first part of December, and I ended the year in Ghana. And so, or some version of that, maybe the other way around when I was living in Ghana, etc. So now here we are, 2025, and I will be celebrating in both Sierra Leone, because I'm here now, for a little bit longer, not sure how long, and then I'm going to Ghana to celebrate the rest. So that's just my personal journey and what I'll be doing, but let's talk through what to anticipate and expect overall. So what we're going to cover today is as follows. The most interesting events that each country is going to be having, the ticketed events, the free events, some that might be family friendly, some that might be about the party scenes, some that might be diaspora focused networking and business events, some of the parties that some people say they always go to, some that might be overhyped. We're going to talk about, December in Ghana 2025, which is the official tourism calendar that we look at. So it's like theater, concerts, food festivals, business conferences. With Nigeria, it's the Detty December Lagos event guide. So this is specific to Lagos for Nigeria. And I haven't actually done Detty December in Nigeria. I have friends who have. It is something like you've never seen. I haven't done it yet, but I've been to Lagos, but I just haven't been there in the Detty December holiday. And then we'll also talk about Sierra Leone enjoyment lineup, Salone enjoyment lineup, beach festivals, hikes, all white parties, New Year's events, etc. So where to go, what to skip, how to budget, maybe some of those things you'll think about. And what I talked about before, right, is what I mentioned to you guys previously was the amount of time people spend generally in Ghana, and I think West Africa in general, some of these stats still kind of apply. So if you guys remember, we talked about the fact that people spend around 22 days is about the average time that people spend coming to Ghana at least on their visas and the timeline that they schedule. So people do lengthy visits. Usually it's around the middle of December into the early part of January. And so if you guys know anybody who goes to West Africa in the December month, if you work with them, work starts shutting down right around this coming weekend into next week. You can just expect that work in the US for these folks is shutting down. They're planning their travel. So some highlighted events that are mentioned, just to kind of get that out of the way now. Ghana is known for AfroFuture. There's a BHIM festival. There's the Taste of Culture concert. There's the Detty Rave, and there's a gospel fest for those of you who want the non-secular. Then in Nigeria, you got the Flytime Fest, where Davido is going to perform in. Asake is going to perform live. Rhythm Unplugged, Aquaholic Beach Party. In Nigeria, Salone has Medang Beach Fest. Shout out to Yeneva. The Fire and Ice Masquerade, a busy all-white affair. We also have Bambade, which Davido is also supposed to be performing at. So Davido will be in Nigeria. Apparently, he will be in Sierra Leone, so I am told. Tiwa Savage will also be here in Sierra Leone this coming Friday. And so there's a lot going on in these three countries. And this is why I wanted to talk to you guys about it, because people are always asking what is happening during this time. And so we got a lot to go through, but I wanted to give you that heads up. I also have to jump for a work call. So I'm going to run through these really quickly so that you guys get a chance to see what there is. I'm not at all going to address the controversy around who owns Detty December. Is it Nigeria or Ghana who owns the phrase? I really don't care. As the guy in the video said, it's all about tourism and people coming back home. And as I mentioned before, the merch is out. This shirt will not be what the final version looks like, the stolen from Africa, because there's a couple things. One, this can't be here. And two, there's some changes to what can be corroborated in terms of what has been stolen in this particular image. So stay tuned for that. That is also merch is on the way. So if you're looking for something in the new year, some new workout gear, stuff to wear around the house, stuff that you want to wear out, I mean, it's branded pretty well. You got the logo in the back, where it's made, the size, washing instructions. If you want to represent the continent properly, get yourself some authentic African merch at authenticafrican.com. All right, now, without further ado, let's get into the three countries. I'm going to start with Sierra Leone because I know people tend to join a little bit later, and I know that we're going to need some time for those folks who are coming a little bit later to catch on to the Ghana stuff, because Ghana seems to be the one that people care about the most. So we'll start with Sierra Leone, we'll go to Ghana, and then we'll end with Nigeria. So starting with Salone, aka Sierra Leone, aka my second home. I don't know why this isn't on the screen. Let's try this again. There we go. And that's the wrong dates. Let's start with this. So in Sierra Leone, let me tell you something about Salone enjoyment. We start early, very early. This is one of those. Okay, really quickly before we get into that, I want to shout out a couple people who've been big supporters of the channel, who are just commenting here. So first of all, shout out to Catherine Smith. So glad to catch you live, Joe. Thank you for the information about Detty December. Some West Africans here in Houston, Texas, are going to Ghana. I am all too familiar. I'll probably be seeing them. Jada is here. Jada says, I wish I could have made it this year. Too much going on, but starting next year, I'll sure be spending New Year's in Salone. All right, Jada, I will hold you to it. You and I have talked about that. Make sure you do make that trip. All right, so for those of you who are here for the Sierra Leone information, I'll start with that. Then we'll get to Ghana, we'll get to Nigeria, because some people are joining a little bit late. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of what is to come. All right, so like I said, pre-American Thanksgiving, the events start. They start for Sierra Leone. The Power Women Lux Brunch, unfortunately, I missed that, but I've been in twice in years past. They've done a ball, they've done a brunch, amazing group of people, really dope event. And you see all the events here. I mean, what you find with Sierra Leone is many competing events or back-to-back events, right? So you had competing events on the 28th. You had competing events. You have competing events on the 12th, which is going to be tough, right? Because you have Tiwa Savage, and then you have this other event. And then on the 13th, there's two events. You have a day trip and a hike if people want to do that. And then you have THOA, which is the House of Africa event. So this is what has happened thus far up until 2 days ago. The Food Fest was 2 days ago. And now this is what's coming up this coming weekend. All right. Next, we have the rest of December after this coming weekend. So Diamond Platinum. And he's coming to a place called Chapter One, which also Tiwa Savage will be there this Friday. I guess I should mention that. I mentioned it earlier, but I'll mention it again. Diamond Platinum, for those of you who watch Young, Famous, and Africa, Young, Famous, and African on Netflix, he is one of the main characters on that show. He doesn't spend a lot of time on camera because he's traveling around a lot, but you know, he's always intertwined in some kind of love triangle on that show. His music is very well known around the continent, and he is coming to Sierra Leone to perform. That is going to be on the 19th of December. So that is sometime next week. Madang is also happening on the 20th and the 21st. So shout out to them. And then you have Fire and Ice Masquerade Ball happening on the 20th. I may be missing all of this stuff. Another thing, a point to note is the Chemist event. Shout out to the Chemist. I always like to go to their stuff. Oh, and Bombade. Yes, this is another one. So this one is where they say Davido is going to be. We will see. We will see if he's coming. But apparently it's been posted on his social media. I haven't seen it as of yet. I'm told that it's there. They posted it on their social media. He was the surprise guest. I went to their inaugural first Bombade event where you had Ruger and Ira Star. So we will see if they're able to close this deal on Davido, but that'd be dope. So we at least know Tiwa Savage is coming. We know that Diamond Platinums is coming, and then likely Davido is coming to Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone has really stepped up its game with bringing people into the country for these performances. We as Sierra Leoneans have been asking for it, and now we're getting it. You don't have to travel anymore to Ghana or Nigeria for their Detty December to get the concerts that you've all been looking for. Sierra Leone got them. So that is exciting. All right, and then lastly, it goes all the way into January. You see some events here. There's a great New Year's party at Dakona. I was just there yesterday for a brunch. Shout out to them. The Daytox party, I've been to that in years past. Deja Vu party, I've been to that in years past on January 1st. Unfortunately, I'll be missing all of those events. I will be in Ghana for those events, but that's the calendar. And by the way, I should mention, if you guys want to actually get this, there's going to be a link in the description on the YouTube video. I wasn't able to put it in the Facebook video or on Instagram. So you guys can head over to YouTube and watch this and go to the description In the description, you're going to click on a link. There's a link in the description that will take you to a quick form. You just want to fill out that form. The form is called Authentic African Detty December Contact Information. So you just put your contact details in this form. When you fill out this form, I will make sure to get you all of these calendars. So remember, check the description for the YouTube video and you will be able to get access to each one of these calendars. All right. Now, really quickly, as I mentioned before, under the previous administration, we're moving to Ghana now, by the way, we're moving to Ghana. So under the previous administration in Ghana, Akufo-Addo, he launched, or his administration launched, the Year of Return 2019, and then the Beyond the Return activities, which is a years-long events of things that are happening. Now, the opposite party, the other party, is now in power, Mr. Mahama and the president, John Mahama, the president. So they no longer are using the Beyond the Return activities as the description. But before we get in that, there's some people saying some things. Ernest is in, I'm already in Ghana, is popping here. I've been back to back so far and I'm loving it. There you go. Jada said, have I been to chapter 1? Not yet, but I will be this Friday. So I'll let you know how that goes. All right, so back to the conversation that we've been having. So, you know, the president of Ghana, John Mahama, they've rebranded the December in Ghana activities. And so this is the official December events calendar for December in Ghana. You see the logos for the Tourism Authority, et cetera, and all of the different combinations and people that they're working with. This is a very different way of approaching this. Well, it's similar and different, right? So it's called December in Ghana. It's no longer called the Year of Return, Beyond the Return, because new administration, different viewpoints on things. So they have their own branding and their own way of presenting this. So I also hear that you can do visa on arrival for those who are planning to travel to Ghana and don't already have West African citizenship, that they could just travel there without a visa. You need a visa, as far as I understand, they're doing visa on arrival. All right. So they have Ghana Tourism Authority and Black Star Experience. They have theater and arts. They have concerts, entertainment, and fashion. They have festivals. They have culinary. They have business, investment conferences, community service. So that's what you see all through this document. I mean, it is comprehensive. Coming from the Ghana Tourism Authority, they decided to really pull all the stops, is that what the phrase is? And put everything together in one comprehensive document. It's a PDF doc and it has everything, right? So, you know, I mean, there's a lot here to go through, but one of the things that stood out to me is AfroFuture, formerly known as Afrochella, is coming back to Ghana once again. And so you guys can anticipate a really big festival. It looks like it is a 2-day festival on December 28th and 29th. I may be attending, I may not be, I'll let you know. But there are, you know, there's a Soul Train disco, there's a Detty rave, Afro Beach Festival, Ghana Fashion Festival. You know, there are a number of different things happening. AfroFuture is also having a New Year's party as well. And then there's a bunch of other stuff. I mean, it's a long list of things. I mean, the festivals are all here. The culinary is all here. Business and investment conferences. So this is, I think, is really interesting because yes, you want to come to the events, you want to go out, you want to enjoy yourself, right? This is time to like let your hair down, relax, have a good time. And I definitely would recommend when you come to the continent, you do that, but also you'll be meeting and talking to so many like-minded individuals, right? Think about all the people coming to the continent and their focus is, you know, building wealth, you know, continuing to grow their assets, but also at the same time, looking at advancing the continent and our people, right? African people of all lineages and descents, you know, and whether on the continent, the diaspora, recently removed, etc. Right? All of us working together to really build, you know, solidarity and work together. And so, to me, I think although the parties and all the stuff, the fun stuff, yes, it's always about the networking. I will tell you, I had 3 meetings on Saturday, 3 meetings on Sunday with different people who are really serious about making things happen here on the continent. Partnerships that are coming from those. I'll tell you guys about that in the future as they come to fruition and we get pen to paper and we actually have agreements in place. But just know that this is what you gain the most from being here. Is if you're serious about doing anything, getting into real estate, building a business on the continent, everybody who has been doing it for years, everybody who's thinking about doing it now, everybody who just started are all going to be here during that time. They come to check on their investments, and 2, they are here to have some fun. And so you get the opportunity to sit down with those people and learn directly from them about what's working, what's not working, what you can apply to your own personal business and ventures. So that's why I like to spend some time on this, because there's a bunch of different investment conferences here in Ghana. So Diaspora Business Mentoring Roundtable, you know, the Ghana Property and Lifestyle Expo, which I may miss or I might be there for, but these are events that are really, really, really important, and I would recommend attending if you're going to be in country. Diaspora Business Networking Mixer, you know, Diaspora Summit 2025, Connect the Dots Networking Extravaganza. Like, look at all these events that are happening. You know, look, you don't want to miss any of these. Another Diaspora Roundtable on the 23rd of December. These are the events that I want to spend some time going to, where I anticipate I'm going to get the most from. I mean, I've been to a lot of concerts in West Africa. I've seen a lot, and I enjoy them all. But I think for me, the things that I take the most away when I leave and I reflect on my time is the relationships that I'm building with people as I spend time. So a ton of stuff there, some community service too, which I think, you know, if you're gonna take from a country, you should also give back, right? So, you know, I used to have a giving pledge that I did when I was in Ghana every year when I was living in Ghana. You know, we gave out food to the orphans and the homeless at Black Star Square and in Osu, etc. Did that in accordance with a restaurant there locally, and a friend of mine who had been coming into the country, or who had come to the country, and you know, and so I think there are things that you can do. I've done other community service things too, you know, with my former employer, etc. So yeah, that's Ghana. And then lastly, let's get right into Nigeria, right? So this is really tiny, really hard to see, but I will review it with you. And again, if you guys want to get this, just click on the link in the description, fill out the form, and you will get your own copy of this. Now, I did screenshot this from that Instagram page. So this one in particular, you can just go to the Instagram page if you want to look at it. But it has everything from December 6th to December 30th. So one of the things that was highlighted in this particular image, you can see there on December 28th, is the Aquaholic Beach House Party. But I mean, it starts with the Pulse Fiesta, Fire and Sand, Fashion Souk. What is it? I don't know. Fashion Souk. That's all on December 6th. On the 7th, there are 3 major events. On the 11th, there are 2 major events. On the 12th, there are 2. The 13th, there are like 7. I mean, this is a country of, you know, 200 plus billion people. Diaspora is very large. There are already something like 20 to 30 million people in Lagos alone that live in Lagos. So a lot of these events are going to be very well attended by the locals and from those who come from out of the country, right? So a lot of stuff. Obviously, Davido is performing. Central C is performing. You guys might know him from the UK. I'm sure you're familiar with the song that went viral on TikTok, etc. I'm not going to repeat the lyrics here because, yeah, not one thing that I would do. So yeah, so I definitely recommend you guys download this if you guys are going to be in any of these countries. So I would love to stay longer to talk more to you guys and to hear more from you guys. Unfortunately, the day job calls, and I have to jump on a call here in the next 4 minutes, and I do have to prep for it because I am going to be involved in the discussion. So I want to thank you guys all for joining this live stream. As always, those of you guys who are watching the replay, check the link in the description here. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, and those who aren't watching on YouTube, head over to YouTube, look for this live stream and look in the description and you'll be able to get it. There's a couple other ways that you can support the channel. As I said, you guys can go to authenticafrican.com and you can click on shop and you can check out some of the merch. You can buy some merch. It's available today. You can also support by tipping the channel on Zelle or Cash App. You can see it scrolling on the screen down below if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. If you're watching on Instagram, it's going to be up here, so you can always support the channel that way. And if you want to support for free, if you don't have the means to support in that way, absolutely you can support by just commenting, subscribing, and sharing this with anybody you know. With that, guys, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all in the next video. You know what? Should I show you guys Authentic African? No. I'm going to do a big reveal of the new website in the early new year. I'm going to do a whole live stream about that. So we'll do that, and then we'll reference it every live stream. But until then, you can check it out on your own if you'd like. We'll do a big reveal for the broader audience later. All right. So with that, guys, thanks for watching. See you all in the next video.